Hello here, this is Aeroland and today we will be talking about the Boeing 747. The Boeing 747 was the first wide-body jet airliner in history. It has an unmistakable hump. It started service in 1969 and has been fondly called the Jumbo Jet and the Queen of the Skies. Over 1,500 have been built. But what inspired the most famous aeroplane of all time? The jet's history began in the mid-1960s when the American government wanted a large double-decker aircraft for use as a military aeroplane designated as the C-5 project. Boeing spent quite a lot of money in trying to develop an aircraft. They lost the contract to competitor company Lockheed but kept the idea. A few years later, the American airline Pan American World Airways, or Pan Am for short, a big buyer of Boeing aircraft, asked for a large airliner for their transatlantic services. In 1969, Boeing flew their first 747, which had all the airlines who had placed in orders logos on the front of the aircraft. The test pilot was Jack Waddell, the leading test pilot in the Boeing industries. Boeing had planned that their large aircraft would only be for passenger use for a few years before becoming a large, long-range fighter aircraft. Boeing believed that the future would be in supersonic aircraft, so it had designed a supersonic airplane to compete with Concorde, which Pan Am had orders in. The Boeing 747 eventually ended the Boeing supersonic project, so in 1970, the aircraft was preparing for its first profitable passenger flight. Just a few months before, the 747's engine had so many problems in production that all jets built had to stand engineless outside the factory for days, almost ending Boeing altogether. As the plane was about to take off, the engine failed. The passengers had to wait over 5 hours before the plane was replaced with N736PA, a Pan American aircraft, also known as Clipper Victor. The Boeing 747 became successful overnight, with by 1980 about 500 had been made, with new variants including the 747-100SR, 747-100B, 747-200 and the 747-200SP, which was very small but was fast and at a longer range. But it didn't stop the number of tragic incidents with the plane, most notably the worst in 1977. Two jumbo jets collided on a runway, killing 583. Another notable crash was Pan American World Airways Flight 103, or the Lockerbie bombing, when the 747 broke up above the Scottish town of Lockerbie due to a terrorist bomb, with a death toll of 270, including 259 on the aircraft and 11 on the ground. Despite this, the plane enjoyed particular success, introducing the stretched upper deck, or SUD, 747-300 version in 1981. Although failing to deliver satisfaction, gave rise to the 747-400 series, which has a two-crew cockpit, replacing the flight engineer on all previous models with a more sophisticated computer system. In 1992, after 20 years, the last 747-200 or Classic was built. It was one of the first jumbo jet variants, but lost competition to the 747-400 series, which is the most built 747 to date and is the first 747 with a high-tech all-glass cockpit. By the 2000s, Boeing knew their plane would not last much longer. All the American airlines had withdrawn their 747s. Their new 777, or 777, was replacing it rapidly, and in 2007, the Airbus A380 flew its first commercial flight. The A380 was even bigger, with a capacity over 850. The term Super Jumbo was born, but Boeing did not give up. In the 1990s, the manufacturer had proposed a Super Jumbo, the 500X and the 600X, but had stopped the project. In 2010, Boeing introduced the 747-8. The aircraft kept the 747 project for a bit longer, but only 2 airlines have ordered the 747-8 intercontinental passenger version so far. The 747-8F, or Fighter, is more successful. With hope, the 747 could last a few more years. And that is the story of the 747, which is one of the most iconic aircraft of all time. It has been iconic for over half a century, showcased 60s engineering at its height, and most importantly, has made air travel cheaper and safer for everyone. Thank you for watching this video today. Congratulations if you made it to the end of the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe.